Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kelly. I am super excited for today's video because I feel like I have been in my makeup era, so I'm really excited to chat all things Sephora Sale. I'm really mostly in my makeup era because if you haven't seen, I'm trying to do my own bridal makeup for my wedding, and that's coming up very soon, so I've been testing a ton of makeup products. So I feel like I have a lot of input there. We'll start out there and then we'll move on to hair care, skincare, everything else. Anyways, let's do a quick recap of the Sephora sale. Rouge Access starts April 4th, VIB starts the 8th, and so does Insider. Rouge is 20% off, VIB is 15% off, and Insider is 10% off of your entire purchase. So definitely a good time to stock up on your favorites, test out new products, that kind of thing. So let's dive in. These are my current makeup favorites. There's a lot of them. You definitely don't need all of them. In fact, I would venture to say you don't need anything from the Sephora sale. So that's just a friendly reminder. We don't need to be over consuming in 2025. Only buy something if you feel like it's really gonna fit into your routine. You need it for a particular thing, like for me, bridal makeup, or it's just something that you really want and you feel like will add to your routine. It's a good year to skip duplicates, you know? If you already have 2 mascaras you love, you don't need a third. With that in mind, let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with Complexion products. So first up, I have 2 kind of glowy skin favorites. These are more because I've been testing a lot of bridal makeup. I want something that's glowy that's not gonna have flashback. I do love the Say Glowy Super Gel. I think that that's absolutely beautiful for like every day. If you're going for a little bit more of a glam look, that's when I feel like these are really gonna take the cake for that. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I don't love the regular Hydro Grip primer. I think that it's almost too sticky. This is tacky without being gross. I don't know what in the formula would be different, but to me this doesn't feel quite as aggressively sticky, and the glow of this is absolutely stunning. This is the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. I absolutely adore this product. I have it in shade 3, but I think I could have done 2 instead. I think that this is a little bit dark, but since I mostly got it for bridal makeup, I'm obviously going to have a tan for the wedding, so that made a little bit more sense to go a little bit of a warmer shade. I think that this is beautiful mixed with foundation, and it also gives much more sheer finish, which I really like. I want my skin to still show through my makeup, so that's just personal preference. If you want, you could use this as more of a primer, you could use it as a highlighter. I think that there's a lot of versatility with this product, but it is pricey. For foundations, I actually kept it pretty light. I have the Say foundation. If you're an acne prone girly, this is the Glowy Super Skin Foundation. I think that this is beautiful for just an everyday foundation. If you have acne prone skin, it's absolutely great. No pore clogging ingredients. And I just think that it has a very pretty natural finish. It's glowy, that's kind of their thing. And just if you have acne prone skin in general, Say 10 out of 10. A lot of their products, honestly, most of their products are acne safe, which is how I ended up getting into the brand in the first place. And I would really recommend this for just an everyday foundation, especially if you're more of a light coverage kind of girl. If you want like a medium to full coverage, this isn't for you. But if you like a light, more skin tint finish, this is it. Now, for bridal looks, obviously, we have the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is one of the best foundations I've ever used. I'm wearing it right now in like kind of a cocktail. This is so beautiful on its own. It layers well. It plays nice with others, if you will. Like, I just never have any problems with this foundation. I pretty much know it's always going to hit. This is actually one of the first foundations that I've finished in a minute. Like, this is empty. I already have a second one ready to go. This is probably what I'm going to wear on my wedding day. It just has beautiful long wear coverage, and I just feel like it doesn't ever feel heavy on the skin. For concealers, I have a few options going on in here. One of you asked for acne safe concealers, like a concealer that isn't going to break you out. Unfortunately, I do think we all have to test and just try our luck. I know that's not the best answer, but this Lancome one does have no pore clogging ingredients, and it's a very, very lightweight formula. So like, it's almost watery, and I feel like for acne prone skin, like that's the best that you can do. Anything heavy, I feel like almost always breaks me out, but I've had good success with Lancome personally. Hopefully you do as well, but I would definitely test it out in the store or ask for a sample maybe. But you know, with the sale, this is probably the best time to buy it. This is my top recommendation for acne prone skin if you're looking for a concealer. And definitely one thing to think about is a lot of concealers come with this like little doe foot applicator. Do not put that directly on your acne. You want to put that on the back of your hand and then use a brush and wash that brush immediately after, because otherwise you're really just letting this fester with bacteria and every concealer is going to break you out if you're applying it that way. Okay, if you're less concerned about the concealer breaking you out and you really just want good coverage over the acne, I would go for this Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. This has really good coverage. It's still lightweight and I think that it blends really well with foundation. For under eye circles, I don't love this, but for general blemishes, I really like this. Under eye circles, on the other hand, I love the Kosas Magic Extra Bright. This is a color corrector. So I think that this actually does really well. It's like a pinky color. I think that this cancels out my under eye circles so well. I'm wearing it right now blended with a Natasha Denona concealer. I think that it does really, really well for concealing under eye circles. So if that's what you're looking for out of your concealer, I would definitely recommend this. Obviously this is a color corrector, right? So you're gonna wanna blend something over that, but it does have a beautiful finish and I feel like the color corrector really is what has helped me in resolving my under eye circles, because if you just go in with like a bright concealer, it kind of looks gray on the skin because you have a really bright color over the top of something that's very dark. So I feel like it just makes it look gray and like unnatural. Whereas if you do the color corrector and then a little bit of concealer over the top, it gives you a really natural bright under eye. Blushes I have a lot of. I'm a really big blush girl. I love blush. It's probably my favorite makeup product if I'm being honest. So I have 4 different blushes. 2 are from Say. If you are an acne prone girly, these are your best friend. Again, Say just has a ton of acne safe products. These are my 2 favorite shades. I have Cutie and Baby. Baby is like a bright pink and Cutie is a little bit more of a warm toned blush. Just depends on your preference. Hopefully the sound of that car horn isn't crazy. Okay, they fixed it. Anyways, these are both beautiful. These, again, same thing with that doe foot applicator. If you're struggling with a lot of acne, don't put this directly onto your face. You want to put it on the back of your hand, use a brush, and then wash that brush. If you want more of a splurge, I love the Armani blushes. If you can't tell, I just really love Armani Beauty in general. I saw a girl wearing this blush and I was like, excuse me, I have to know what that is because it is so beautiful. It's just this bright baby pink. But again, you're gonna get something pretty similar with this. This one's like a little bit more pastel and this one's a little bit more saturated. And then for my bridal favorite at the moment, it is Seen by Hourglass. These are serum blushes, so it drops out. It's pretty watery. Again, when you're looking at bridal beauty, I feel like what we're going for is lightweight layers, and so a serum blush makes perfect sense. This is a very light product, so it layers well and it's not gonna look super thick on the skin the way that like a cream blush would look. Next, I have one powder. I really don't like powders. I have dry, acne-prone skin. Powder is usually not doing me a lot of favors. It clings to dry patches, like it separates. It just is a whole thing. It usually is very frustrating for me to work with. I really like Huda Beauty Easy Bake. This is in the shade Pound Cake. I mostly use this under my eyes. I feel like it does do pretty well there. With any powder, obviously you want to go relatively light because you don't want too much creasing in the under eyes, and overdoing it is always going to cause a lot of creasing. But I do feel like this is a pretty good powder. I haven't had any issues with it. And I just feel like as far as having like dry patches, I don't experience too many problems. But again, keep it light. The Dior Backstage Glow palette has been one of my favorites. I've seen this in literally dozens of bridal beauty videos. I feel like this is a super popular palette and it's just stunning. Like, I have had this for years at this point. I should probably replace it if I'm being honest, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. I feel like she's still alive and well, but it is getting close, and I just feel like the shades in this are beautiful. Sometimes I use them as eyeshadow, sometimes I use it as highlighter, sometimes I just use the blush. I feel like I've done a lot of looks and it gives a lot of versatility. I also have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush. I think that this is so pretty. If you can't tell, I really love a pinky toned blush, and obviously have a lot of them, but I've always struggled with finding a powder blush that I actually like to put over the top other than like this Dior one, because this is more of a highlighter than like a true blush that you would put over the top. So this has been definitely one of my favorites since I've gotten it recently. For eyeshadows, I'm gonna be so real with you. I am lazy. I don't frequently wear eyeshadow. Obviously I am right now because I'm testing a bridal makeup look, but in general, I tend to steer clear unless I'm going out. So I have 2 favorites for going out. I have Urban Decay Space Cowboy. I know that you've heard of this. I'm sure that you've seen it. She's absolutely stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, not crazy expensive. And I've also seen this actually in quite a few bridal looks as well. The alternative I have is this Armani liquid eyeshadow. This is 68S. Not really sure. I think that these have names, but this one's just a little bit darker. It's gonna give a little bit more coverage, whereas I feel like Space Cowboy, I typically layer over the top of an eyeshadow. This I kind of do all on its own, and I just blend it in with a brush, my fingers. It's very easy to work with. It's just kind of like you only need one product and you're good to go. That is my jam for eyeshadow, so that's why these two are my favorite. For lippies, I have two. I have this Necessaire lip balm. I know that this is in the box. It's because I have one that isn't in the box and I can't find it, but I don't feel like opening this one just to show you. But I actually think that this is better than Summer Fridays, and I'm surprised that nobody's talking about this because this formula is absolutely divine. I like Necessaire for a lot of things. And then my other lippy of choice is the YSL Candy Glaze. I have these in a few colors. The clear is definitely my most used, obviously, because it's the most versatile, but this is the shade 15, and it's a good everyday color. It's a good blend, I feel like, between a lipstick and a lip gloss, and it's just beautiful, and I feel like it has good wear. But definitely more of a splurge for a lip product. So, okay, this I had honestly forgotten about. This is the Rare Beauty Brow Gel. I'm wearing it right now. I think that it's really good for getting that laminated brow look. If you're looking for more of a budget version of this, I would get the e.l.f. Brow Lift. I actually like this a lot more. I just feel like for the size of this, you're not getting a ton of product. So I would probably only actually pick this up during a Sephora sale and not just the rest of the time because it's quite pricey for the size. And I have two setting sprays. An honorary mention to the Urban Decay setting spray. I love them. I think that their setting spray is so good. I love the dewy version. But since I've been on a bridal makeup kick, these are kind of the favorites that I've seen amongst other videos, and I feel like we're doing pretty well with them. This is a one size setting spray. I've used this before. I've gone through another travel size of this. I bought the travel size because I don't love this for everyday wear. I think that it's a little bit too hairspray, so it starts to feel dry to me after a while. On the other hand, this I think is beautiful. I think that this does a good job of like marinating powder and cream together so that your face looks less makeup-y, if that makes sense. Like it really blends everything together. I feel like when you go over your powder products with this. It's called the Surreal Skin Soft Setting Spray, and I feel like that's a beautiful name for it because it does kind of soften the look of makeup and makes it kind of, I don't know. I always refer to it as your makeup needs time to like marinate. This is what's helping it marinate together and like look a lot more blended and natural. That was a lot. Those are all of my makeup favorites, and I will be back once I fill this with my skincare. What's funny about this is that I was about to tell you I'm in a less is more with my skincare era. Who am I talking to? Because this is clearly not very less is more of me. But I just have quite a few favorites and we'll go through them. But I'm really only using 3 products, 3 to 4 in my skincare routine currently, and I really recommend. I think that it's actually done wonders for my skin to not be using too many products. So keep that in mind as we go through this. You don't need too many. Number 1 is this Clinique Take the Day Off Makeup Cleansing Balm. As you can see, I'm almost out, which is heartbreaking. I will probably restock on this during the Sephora sale. This is one of the few cleansing balms that hasn't irritated my eyes, but it has saved me when I got hot sauce in my eyes. That's a story for another time, but fun fact, you need oil to resolve that. A little bit of this or any cleansing balm, I feel like inevitably gets in your eyes when you're like rubbing off your makeup, but this never leaves my eyes irritated, and I also feel that it has not ever caused me to break out. So those are the 2 most important things for me in a cleansing balm, and shockingly difficult to find, so this is definitely a favorite for me. Now, this is a skincare line that I think you've probably seen me talk about because I think it was in my favorites video last time. But this is the Murad Sensitive Skin line. I am obsessed with this line. I don't know what kind of wizardry they put in this. I went to a dinner with them. I was like, you guys, this is fixing my acne. And they were like, that's crazy. I really don't know why. I think maybe just because irritated skin and a damaged skin barrier can cause acne, and that's just not talked about that much. So these don't have any kind of acne fighting ingredients, but they have been working wonders for my skin. It has slow God, I've already been talking too long. It has slow-released, microdosed AHA for gentle delivery. I found that my skin doesn't always respond well to active ingredients because it's quite sensitive. So it does really well with this. I feel like it tends to do better with AHAs in general, but it really seems to do well with this. I can use this twice a day, no discomfort, no peeling, no stinging, no nothing. And then just to round it out, I use the cleanser and the moisturizer. These aren't revolutionary, you could probably substitute them, but I am enjoying using the full line and not having irritated skin. So that's how I've been doing it. I thought I had one more face mask, but I guess I only have two. I have the Murad Rapid Relief Acne Mask and the Kors Volcanic Skin Reset Mask. If you are acne prone, I love both of these. Murad Rapid Relief Acne Mask has sulfur, so if you are struggling with fungal acne, I would definitely recommend this one because that's going to do a little bit better of a job treating this. This one is clay, BHAs, and AHAs, so this is going to help a little bit more with just like your traditional acne, I feel like. But I mean, both of them are going to help with acne because they're exfoliants. I would only really recommend getting one. You only need to use them like 2 to 3 times a week. If that, I really only use face masks about once a week, at least exfoliating ones. If you're struggling with dark spots, texture, acne, dull skin, almost anything, honestly, almost any skin issue can be helped with a chemical peel. This is the Shani Darden at-home chemical peel. I've been using this for years at this point. I think this is one of the best products on the market, and it's just very gentle, easy to use, and you can take it all the way down your neck. And actually, I went to a masterclass with them. They even sometimes do the back of the hands with some of the leftover product. I just think that this is an incredible product. If you're struggling with acne scars or acne in general, chemical peels were one of the top things to help me when I went to an esthetician. So finding this has honestly saved me a ton of money versus having to go in office for treatments. They actually developed this, I think, back in 2020 when they couldn't do in-office treatments anymore. So that's kind of the backstory on this, and I do feel like it's a really effective product. It's definitely pricey though, which is why I'm recommending specifically that you pick it up during the Sephora sale. I think that they also sell a travel size now, so you should be able to buy a smaller size if you want to test it out first before committing. I think that this has like 8 treatments are in this one. Definitely test out the travel size before investing in this one. I have one serum. It's the Clinique Moisture Surge Serum. I just posted a partnership with them. I really like this product. I've always struggled with vitamin C, and if you are an acne prone girly, you know how important vitamin C is because vitamin C is for brightening. It helps with dark spots. But if you have sensitive skin, using vitamin C is super difficult. This is a vitamin C that I feel like has not had an impact on my skin. A lot of times I end up with burning, stinging, itching. It's just really uncomfortable. Vitamin C, I feel like, is notorious for that, but this one I really liked. They blended it with lactic acid and hyaluronic acid. I don't know. This combination though is really working, and it was designed for sensitive skin. So obviously that kind of makes sense why it's working a little bit better. But I am excited because vitamin C is very effective at brightening and helping with dark spots. So I will keep you updated. I haven't been using it quite long enough to be able to say that like I've seen a huge difference, but I am excited because I'm not experiencing any irritation, which is the biggest thing I'm struggling with, I feel like, when it comes to my skincare products. And then I have 3 different moisturizers depending on your current needs. I have the Clinique Moisture Surge 100 Hour. If you have really dry skin, this is like insanely hydrating. My sister, who has very dry, flaky, eczema-prone skin, absolutely adores this. I like this when my skin is running a little bit dry, like maybe I'm testing out a new exfoliant that's kind of leaving me a little bit drier, or it's just like more dry weather outside, it's winter, whatever the case may be. This is my go-to moisturizer when I'm leaning a little bit more dry. For more of an everyday moisturizer, the Skin Fix Skin Barrier Restoring Gel Cream, you've probably heard me talk about this, acne safe, absolutely great moisturizer, doesn't pill under makeup, just perfect for everyday use. I like this as an acne prone girly. The regular cream moisturizer is too heavy on my skin. It definitely ends up making me break out. This one is kind of a good in between. Still very hydrating. I think that this one is kind of their one that's targeting combination skin. And then the cream is for dry skin. And then they have a new moisturizer. I can't remember the name of it. It's oil free. And I believe that one is targeting oily skin. So they now have one for all skin types. If you're struggling with a lot of texture, this is the Core's Poreless Skin Cream. I believe that this has salicylic acid in it, and it's very lightweight. I struggle with salicylic acid, like even spot treatments, I just simply can't do. Salicylic acid serums, I can't do. For some reason, my skin really tolerates this quite well. It never leaves me feeling dry. I still feel very hydrated, and it's a lightweight formula. And again, plays nice with makeup. So those are kind of all the things that I'm looking for in a moisturizer. Next, I have the Tan Luxe Face Drops. If you are like me and you self-tan, you probably have noticed that the tan on your face and your hands goes away quite rapidly. This, I love mixing in a drop with my hand cream at night to kind of help balance out my hands. I do it with my face in the summer if I'm getting a tan on my body. Odds are it's not happening on my face, and I can kind of use this to level out the color and make myself match a little bit better. That way I can go out without makeup and have it be a little less shocking. Finally, I'm trying to get into eye cream. It's not my favorite. My eyes are insanely sensitive. I get eczema on my eyes. Absolutely horrible. This Alpine Beauty Instant Bright Eye, it says it has peptides and niacinamide. I've done really well with this. I don't know that it's making a huge difference other than my under eyes are a little bit more hydrated, which means that my makeup, thankfully, is creasing less, because my under eyes creasing is probably my biggest pet peeve in my bridal makeup journey in trying to find something that actually works. So this has been really good to me so far. I will keep you updated. I wish I had started with like some kind of before and after. I've been using it for a few weeks now, so unfortunately I feel like I won't be able to say anything crazy, but it does have kind of almost a color correcting shade to it all on its own. It's like this creamy pink color. Very similar actually to the Magic Kosas concealer. So I do feel like it kind of has that like instant brightening effect because of the shade of it in the first place, which makes sense given the name. But I'm just not sure about like the peptides and niacinamide, if that's doing anything crazy. But I will say the under eyes are hydrated and not irritated, which was my primary goal when looking for an eye cream. Next up, we have body care. I'm gonna be so real with you. I am not one to feel like splurging on body care. There's so many good drugstore products for body care, so I don't have a ton. I have 2 fragrances, a hand cream, a body lotion, and a body wash. We'll start with body wash because I've actually gone through like 3 or 4 of these. This is the L'Occitane shower oil. I haven't found a drugstore product that I feel like can compete with this. It goes on as an oily texture. When it mixes with water, it kind of emulsifies and is very milky, and it leaves your skin so hydrated. It's also, I feel like, pretty good for shaving. So overall, I really like this product, and I just feel like I haven't found something that like hits this level for a drugstore budget. 10 out of 10 for me. Next, I have the Josie Moran Body Butter. This is the vanilla scent, and oh my god, it smells like a cupcake. I will say my only negative to this is that my cat really likes the scent of this, and when I put this on, she actually tries to lick it off. Like, she will come up. Typically, when I open this jar, I'm surprised she's napping over there, and she hasn't come over here yet, but she's a really big fan, so am I. I understand why she wants to lick it off. It smells edible. Like, it really has an incredible scent. It's hydrating without being greasy, and I feel like it just gives your skin a really pretty glow. Like, I have the tiniest amount left, and we'll put it on. Like, it's hydrating, it blends in really nicely. I feel like it sinks in really nicely, which to me is really important. I hate the feeling of lotion that just like sits on top of your skin and it feels like it never actually sinks in. This does not have that feeling, and no issues with pilling, which for me, body care honestly pills more than any of my skincare, makeup, anything like that. Very glowy, very dewy, perfect scent, and they have a lot of different scents, so you can kind of pick what you want, and then they sell the refillable versions, which is how I've been using it. So definitely recommend getting the refill, kind of keeping it environmentally friendly and also a little bit more cost effective. I'm on a quest to find a new perfume. I don't know what has prompted this. I have worn Miss Dior religiously for years, but for some reason I've just decided I want something a little bit more beachy, a little bit more tropical, and these are the 2 scents that I've landed on. Ellis Brooklyn Guava Granada, I don't know, Granada, I think. This comes off really fruity. Like, its initial scent is super fruity, and I am not a fruity fragrance kind of girl, so I didn't think that I was gonna like this at all. They said guava. I was like, I don't know. This dries down much warmer and with like a subtle summery scent underneath. And so I really like how it dries down, but if you really like a fruity scent, I don't think that this dries down as fruity as it is in the bottle. Then I have Replica's Beach Walk. I love this fragrance, very fresh, very summery, a little bit sunscreen, but not aggressive. Still, I mean, it does good with the description, sun-kissed salty skin. It's giving beach day, and it does give like kind of a nice saltwater scent. Anyways, on my quest to find a more beachy, summery fragrance to kind of swear by, these are my top two. I've been leaning much more towards the guava one just because I like how warm it is. Like Miss Dior is definitely a warm floral fragrance, so I'm not shocked that I went with something warmer because this I think is much brighter. And then I have the L'Occitane hand cream. I am psycho about washing my hands. Like, it's actually kind of concerning. I should see a therapist. This is the only thing that I feel like saves my hands because they are chronically dry. I keep this on my nightstand. I use it every night, and then on the days that I feel like my hands are getting super pale from the fact that I overwash my hands, I mix a drop of the Tan Luxe in with this at night, and I just use a little and I blend that in together into my hands. And I think this is the only reason my hands haven't fallen off yet, because anytime everyone is sick, I wash my hands like a psycho. Wow. I've been yapping a lot for like a while, you know, just to myself, as one does for YouTube. But that is kind of all of my body care favorites. I tried to keep it light, and next we have hair care, which obviously I have thoughts. Smokey. All right, we have finally reached the end. Smokey has decided to join us. Sorry, baby, didn't mean to spook you. These are all of my hair care favorites. Okay, that's not true. There's two more off to the side, but we'll get to those. I actually picked only one shampoo and conditioner, and it is this Kerastase Premier line. I've used this for the last year. I mean, obviously on and off. I'm constantly changing shampoo and conditioner, but this is probably the best shampoo conditioner combo I've used in the last year. Target damage related to calcium buildup on your hair. I just feel like my hair is so soft and easy to work with after I use this. It has a pre-shampoo treatment, which you leave on for 5 minutes. Then you layer the actual shampoo on top, rinse it out, and then you do the conditioner or hair mask. I think that they have a hair mask, but this is just the regular conditioner, so you can also do the hair mask. This is definitely pricey. I've seen a huge difference in my hair when I use this. I also feel like if you have bleached or color treated hair, calcium is damaging the color of your hair, and so this actually ends up making the blonde in my hair look super bright without having to use a purple shampoo. And because I have more of like a lighter color blonde, sometimes the purple actually dulls the color itself. So this has been a game changer for me for that. Speaking of blonde though, I do have one product that I really like, and it's the Moroccan Oil Treatment Purple. So this is a leave-in toner. It's just a couple of drops a day. So I feel like once you start to notice your hair is looking brassy, you can immediately start using this. You can use it on wet or dry hair, which is also convenient because you can just throw a couple drops in if your hair is just looking a little bit off on the color. So I really like this, and obviously if you're bleaching your hair, it's probably going to be dry, and the Moroccan Oil treatment is really good for helping with dry hair. Now, some of you mentioned that you're dealing with frizz. There's a lot of different things that you can do for frizz, but two products that I feel like are really helpful are the not Moroccan Oil, we're just talking about them. Color Wow Dream Coat. This is intended to be a frizz reducing product. It's obviously only for use though on wet hair. If you have dry hair and frizz, there's the Living Proof Instant Defrizzer. I feel like this does pretty well. It's just, you know, a finishing spray. Smokey did not appreciate that I sprayed something, and I feel like it does a good job. It's not super heavy, so that's another thing. I feel like I like oils for frizz generally speaking, but because I have dry hair, that's not an issue. If you don't have super dry hair and you're trying to prevent oil while also preventing frizz, definitely recommend this. Another thing that we've been chatting about is dealing with dry scalp. This Briogeo line, I'm telling you, dry, itchy scalp will be gone forever with this. So like, I don't know what kind of wizardry they put in this, specifically this tea tree oil buildup product. This does a really good job at obviously helping with buildup, and same with the scalp scrub. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the tea tree oil. I feel like it helps with itchy scalp quite a lot. You only need to use it really like once a week, once every other week. Right now, I've been working out a little bit more. Obviously, the wedding is coming up, and so I want to be in shape, feeling good, and I'm having to wash my hair a little bit more. So once a week it's this, and once a week it's this. So that kind of keeps my scalp, I think, feeling pretty balanced. So you definitely don't want to overdo it with this. I would not use this more than once a week. And if you're like really going in, you could do the rosemary pre-wash treatment as well. This one I think that they also say is for, this has rosemary oil, tea tree oil, and bisabolol something. It's supposed to help calm your scalp, basically. So again, if you're dealing with dry, itchy, flaky scalp problems, Briogeo is kind of my go-to for that. If you're dealing with hair loss, you want strong, long, healthy hair, Vegamour is that girl. I'll put a before and after on here after using it for a few months. I was honestly shocked. Like, sometimes you use a product and you're like, is this really doing anything? And then I saw my before and afters and I was like, well, I guess yes it is. Yes it is. I was so shocked by my hairline from using this product. Like, I definitely get a lot of, I don't know if it's just genetic, I don't know if it's that I like slick my hair back a lot, but like right in here I feel like my hairline just, it doesn't hit, and this is definitely helping that a lot. So if you're struggling with anything along those lines, you just feel like your hair is looking a little bit more thin, I would recommend this. It does take consistent use. They say that it takes 3 months to start seeing results. So this I think is only a 1-month bottle, but Sephora actually sells a 90-day bottle, which if you're committed, I would go for the 90-day, but if you want to just test it out first, I would go here. This I actually just ran out of. This is the Amika Blockade Heat Defense Serum. This smells incredible. Everything by Amika smells so freaking delicious. But I really like this because it's a serum. It's a little bit thicker. Again, I have really dry hair, so that works for me. But if you have more oily hair, I would probably stick to a lighter weight spray. 2 hair products are for slick backs. For just like an everyday slick back, I really love the Bumble and Bumble Sumo Tech. I obviously haven't used a ton. You really don't need a lot of this product. So this bottle is gonna last you forever, even if you're doing a slick back like every day. I've done weeks of slick backs already with this tiny little bottle, and as you can see, I have hardly made a dent. Alternatively, someone was talking to me about flyaways. I would actually use one of these and I would just go in kind of at the top and smooth those down. Obviously don't use a ton because otherwise your hair is going to end up looking greasy, but I really think that that is the best way to deal with it. But at the end of the day, flyaways are natural, normal. And unless you're an airbrushed photo, you're going to have a few, but this would definitely help smooth things out, especially like up here at the roots. That was a lot of products, you guys, but I feel like we tackled all of the important things. Definitely let me know down below your Sephora sale favorites because I am still building my cart. And if you have any recommendations for dry under eyes that are always creasing, please let me know because that is my top tier problem right now. And once I tackle that, nothing is going to stop me. Anyways, that is all for this week's video and I will see you in the next one.